are absolutely insane. If you do or say something that a single other person doesn't like, that's it. The life that you know is over. Your job fires you. Your friend group shuns you. You basically have to change the way you live completely. And now that this cancel culture the left perpetuated is being used against them, they are freaking out and melting down. And now Alyssa Mercante, the professional victim herself, says that she spoke to the sucker punch dev who got fired for making a Charlie Kirk joke, and they are both getting wrecked. I have a few different things to show off, but before
I will say right off the bat, no, if you make a joke about somebody who was murdered, you're just trash. Period. The only time I could forgive these circumstances, and let me make it clear, forgive. I'm not saying promote, I'm not saying be okay with, I'm not saying anything else. I mean forgive. When I say forgive, I mean forgive. The only time I'm willing to like forgive or understand the perspective, like where you're coming from, let it go, is if it's like a horrible, horrendous person that like genuinely actually committed actual crime, like real murder, like a serial killer, or like I don't know, some psychotic murderer, like someone who actually genuinely, like a dictator that like constantly orders the death of multiple innocent civilians. Actual, genuine, real physical things, not like the pretend murders that everyone accuses each other of, because like that, you know, like Charlie Kirk murdered people. Like, no, he didn't. He literally didn't. Like, but they're like, but he was anti my opinion, so that means he's murdered. Like, no, what? Since when the frick do words become violence? What?
I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we actually have to give the left a little bit of credit for something, and that is putting these airtight rules in place, because now they can be used against them, and they don't like that. Listen, I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I think it's stupid to cancel somebody over a comment that they make or a joke they make, and sometimes, yes, you can push things too far. Like in this situation, I think that this person clearly didn't mean it as a joke. They didn't apologize. They doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down, and I never called for them to be.
Like, there's definitely, I'll say this, there's definitely some leeway to be had for like when you can obviously tell when a joke was done in good faith or when it's done in bad faith. Obviously,
Fired,
right?
but I also didn't run to their defense because they wouldn't run to
I feel like we can all agree on that. Is the audio a little too loud? It feels like it's a little loud.
mine if I made a joke and somebody didn't like it and they were trying to cancel me. But now these types of people are furious that cancel culture is being used against them. Maybe this will make them realize, ooh, this wasn't good in the first place, but of course they're happy to weaponize it against their opponents and their enemies. And Alyssa Mercante, the professional victim herself, decided to do this interview, saying, for Aftermath, I spoke to the Sucker Punch dev fired after making a Charlie Kirk joke. I do not believe that they were fired just because of a joke. I think it's because of this quote-unquote joke, the disgusting comments that like followed, all of the industry leeches that were exposed for liking and reposting this, them doubling down saying, ooh, they punched Nazis in the face, them saying they wouldn't apologize, and now they're coming out and saying, I didn't even get the opportunity to apologize and I would have. No.
Dude, it's like, let's be completely honest. None of it matters because at the end of the day, for a business, for a company that seeks to make money, like, you're just bad for business. Period. Am I right, chat? Right? Like, you're just bad for business. I don't care what your opinions are. I don't care if you're sorry. I don't care if you're this, that, the other thing, blah, 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 blah. None of it matters. None of it. We were releasing a video game. All you had to do was nothing. You had to just shut up. You had nobody ask for your opinion on nothing. Nobody told you to say anything about like you're not a politician. Nobody wants your freaking opinion on other politicians. Nobody wants your opinion on nothing. Shut your mouth. If you're not talking about the game, then we don't want to hear it. How is that difficult? But no, you go and you had to go and make a stupid joke, double down, and you brought way too much negative attention to the game, and it hurt the game. It absolutely hurt the game.
Oh, you wouldn't have. You said you wouldn't.
Welcome.
She paints a picture of an industry that is all too often ignoring bad actors until those bad actors threaten them financially. It's always bad actors and never just people who are criticizing a company or an employee fairly. It's been more than 2 months since right-wing talking head Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and an artist at Ghost of Yotei developer Sucker Punch Productions was fired for making a joke on social media about it. Drew Harrison wasn't the only person who was punished by the seething online mass of the American alt-right and the government that supports it. A Reuters special report suggests that more than 600 people were fired, suspended,
Yeah, see, so this pretty much does that not pretty much tell you right there that it's not just about the Charlie Kirk jokes? I mean, the fact that 600 people got fired should tell you that it's way more than just about one single Charlie Kirk joke. It's obviously because the Ghost of Yotei game is, like, frankly, you know, pretty hot garbage, and a lot of people just didn't buy it.
Investigated or otherwise actioned against.
Even if you argue that it's a good game, okay, nobody bought it though. For whatever reason, negative attention, negative press, whatever, like it wasn't purchased. Nobody bought it. Nobody or nobody wanted to buy it for whatever reason. And so obviously they're gonna fire a bunch of you. The game failed.
But Harrison's story, which she is commenting on here for the first time, dovetails with a year-long harassment campaign her company had faced and remained publicly silent on until the day she was let go. An online mob had been railing against Ghost of Yotei and Sucker Punch since the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima was announced last September. They were further riled up by Kirk's death and the firestorm of censorship and cancellation around it. And again, I did not call for a single person to be fired or for them to like lose the life that they know, but at the same time,
I don't call for anyone to be fired either. However, I think it's a good thing that it happened because now hopefully that company can continue to make good games. Now that all the real shitty employees are gone.
People ultimately didn't care about genuine criticism towards their.
Now, don't get me wrong. If they go the route of Call of Duty and just go all AI, then trash. You got rid of trash to bring a pile of dookie, right?
Products. They go on to do this exact same thing, which is label their, I guess, opponents as Nazis, bigots, racists, sexists, really words that used to mean terrible things, but now really have no meaning. I don't think that should be the case. I think the word NZ should definitely still mean what it means because it's such a poignant word, but these people have...
It really should. I feel like anybody who uses that is not only so disingenuous, but honestly disgustingly what's the word? It's such a disservice. It's such a disservice to the actual history and like the atrocities that were committed by those people. To like boil it down to such a playground insult now. Because that's what it is now. It feels like a playground insult.
Really just watered it down because anytime you say anything they don't like, oh, you're a terrible person. From my conversation with Harrison, it appears that Sucker Punch's parent company, Sony, acted swiftly and with little investigation into the situation around Harrison's comments. What is there to know? They made a comment about someone who was assassinated, well, several comments, decided to ultimately double, triple, and quadruple down by changing their name on Blue Sky and reposting more.
Like, bro, think about this. Even if it wasn't Charlie Kirk, if you start celebrating the death of any person, like a random innocent person, any company would fire you. And you already know that the apology letter would go something along the lines of like, what the employee did does not go alongside the values of our company stands for, and yada yada, you know.
Things
we already know
and
this
making
would
other
happen.
follow-up posts,
Obviously.
which showed that they were not apologetic. It's not like one out of season April Fool's joke. It's not just one joke that they made that later on they looked back at and went, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Sorry, guys. On September 10th, hours after Kirk was shot, Harrison made an off-color joke on social media. I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. Imagine if someone like Hassan was in Charlie Kirk's situation, if Hassan was the one who was assassinated, and
they'd be freaking crying. They'd be calling for justice.
And somebody on the right made this type of comment.
They'd call it like the worst, like they'd call it like censorship. They'd be crying censorship. They'd be crying,
someone like
revolution.
Alyssa would not just be calling it an off-color joke. See, she's whittling it down to it just being a joke because ultimately she doesn't want to call it what it truly is, which is a disgusting comment, because that would actually mean that people wouldn't sit here and feel bad for Harrison and bad for Alyssa. For the next 12 hours, Harrison's cell phone was a bomb.
And can we just all agree that although we can all agree that there is a cathartic feeling to having all these healthcare executives terrified, it's not okay to go murdering random people like that are like just cause you freaking have a disagreement or you're mad about something. Like, you can't just go and start murdering people. That's not okay. Like, no, we're civilized. We're more like, that's not
with threatening calls and texts
we live in.
Unknown numbers. Dozens of replies.
And if
to
you
her
think we should live in that kind of a society, you frankly should go to jail.
Of Ghost of Yotei,
because that's psychotic.
Less than a month away from launch.
Well, not jail, maybe a padded room, right? Maybe a padded room. But
post from one anonymous account. Others call her a worm, and much worse, for what they viewed as a celebration of Kirk's death. That's what it was. Yes, that's what it was. What was it otherwise? It's not just that we saw it that way or we viewed it that way. It was that way. Here we go into Gamergate. Despite this, Harrison was hoping.
Yeah, what a freaking way. It's like the same. It's like when somebody's like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. It's like, what do you mean you're sorry I feel that way? Why don't you mean you're sorry you did that to me? It's like, no. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Like, you're not apologizing for the act. You're apologizing that I feel a certain way about you. Like, no, screw you. Some BS apologies.
Sucker Punch was well aware of the tactics of Gamergate. What I think is so crazy about these situations is it's never us, the people that are part of Gamergate, that start these situations. It's always developers altering products and upsetting existing fan bases. It's always journalists stoking the fires of discontent and causing divide with their political articles. It's always developers who come out and make jokes about people being assassinated. It's always these people that start these situations, and whenever they're criticized in return, oh, well, those darn Gamergaters are at it again with their tactics. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and see what the problem is. I just thought, I'm their entertainment for the day, Harrison told me of the people harassing her. I assumed it was going to go how it always had. Nobody cares about what they say because they literally only harass for the fun of it. There's no more.
Nobody cares about what they say. These are the people you're trying to sell the video game to. You and every single one of your coworkers should care what they have to say. It's probably the reason why you got fired if you couldn't figure that one out.
Moral code they're trying to uphold. There's no cause they're rallying for. They're just trying to make people suffer, which actually, this completely goes against the narrative that people like Alyssa and all of the journalists, really, from now back to Gamergate 1, have been trying to push, because they constantly say it is an organized harassment campaign against women in games and they want less women and less minorities. So by saying there's no cause they're rallying for, ultimately Harrison's just saying the quiet part out loud, because it's true. The only cause we really have is just making the gaming industry better. And that doesn't mean that we want less women. It doesn't mean that we want less minorities. We just want people to do work. We just want people to make good games. If you made an amazing game, nobody would care about your sexuality. Just like with Jennifer English, nobody cares that she's a lesbian. What people care about is that she made a good game, or was part of several good games, like Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Tides of Annihilation is going to be.
Dude, Expedition 33, I really hope it gets Game of the Year. I really do.
Coming out, that's what should matter. That is what should be the top priority of somebody's work, and it is for her, and that's why nobody cares. Despite the night of harassment, Harrison was determined to continue working as usual. At Sucker Punch the morning after Kirk was killed, Harrison sent a message to the company-wide office chat. I made the worst people on the internet mad. As an apology, there are banana muffins in the kitchen. Colleagues reached out immediately. Some told Harrison they were also being harassed. An office manager, Harrison said, explained that the company's phones were being bombarded with anonymous calls, so many that another Sucker Punch employee told me they were instructed to unplug their desk phones.
Yeah, see, why the hell would you make that stupid joke? What the hell does Charlie Kirk have to do with your samurai video game? Why do you talk, why? Just shut up. What, y'all can't just shut up? Is that hard? Is that difficult? You put all that hard work, you made all your coworkers go through all that mess over your stupid joke. Damn.
Apparently, Sucker Punch leadership had sent a message to the office chat saying, due to a social media post by one of our team members, many corners of our studio and Sony are having to manage a developing situation. And then hours later, Harrison was invited to a video call with someone she had.
Oh, it was at that moment she knew she fudged up. Yeah, like, actually the moment, like, when, so this is like a moment by moment of the instance when the entire game basically fell, crumbled. Like, this is the moment it failed. Actually.
Never met, and within 10 minutes she no longer had a job. Now, they really want to blame Asmongold for this situation, and of course Mark Kern for
That's
it.
hilarious.
On the day of Kirk's death, Grums instructed his followers to.
It's hilarious because earlier she said that these are voices that nobody listens to, but then here they say it was Asmongold's fault. It's like, I thought you said nobody listens to them. So does nobody listen to them, or is it their fault? You gotta, like, make up your mind on this.
To help Asmongold amass a list of those mocking or cheering Charlie Kirk's assassination. So really, Alyssa and Harrison are sitting here saying cancel culture is bad. And that's fine if you have that opinion, because that's the opinion that most normal people have. But the problem is individuals like this help perpetuate it for years to this point. They have such airtight rules that they are now being canceled, and they don't like it, and now they're saying cancel culture is bad. When did they ever come out and, I don't know, criticize the people saying to boycott Hogwarts Legacy? They never did, because that isn't part of their narrative. What about the...
Meanwhile, we played the shiz out of that game on stream. We like, I like, that was one of those games where everybody was boycotting it. Meanwhile, in the game was like the very first trans witch in existence, like in the Harry Potter. I don't know if there's like a trans witch in some other freaking anime or a TV show or video game or something, but that was like it was a major thing. It was a major W for trans people, and I was like I even talked about it. I brought it up. I discussed it. Nope, everyone just boycotted it. And I'm like, where are the allies? Whose side are you on here?
Right-wing creator on Hogwarts Legacy, they got fired successfully. Oh, they're not going to mention that. Like, we're talking about so many examples over the past couple of years where they never stood up for creators that were being canceled because it wasn't the type of person they want in this industry. And that does suck to see, because I do think anybody should be able to have a job. The best person for the job should get the job. But we're talking about articles where they clearly voice that that's not their opinion. Harrison also said, full disclosure.
Like, it really doesn't matter how good you are at your job. You like, if you can't keep your mouth shut, not especially when your mouth has the power to literally get an entire years and years long project canceled and make it fail, then you're just flat out like, you're just a not inconvenience. What's the term? You're a hindrance to the company. I don't want you in my company if every time you open your mouth you get my projects canceled and I lose money. Hell no, get out.
The joke was not in
You're
the best
fired.
taste, but at no point did anyone ask me to delete it. At no point did anyone ask me to apologize. And for the record,
everybody on the internet told you to. Everyone on the internet told you to delete it. The customers told you to delete it. The people that were gonna buy the game told you to delete it.
I would have worked with PR to write an apology. It feels like nobody investigated the harassment that me and my coworkers were receiving, and I just don't believe this. And I think that this person is damage controlling now, all this time later, because they basically had said that they wouldn't weeks ago. As you can see, Drew had changed their profile name to Punching Enzies Till I Die, and then they made another post saying, if standing up against fascism is what cost me my dream job I held for 10 years, I would do it again 100 times stronger. That to me.
Then I guess you didn't really care about that job to begin with. You're telling me that if you knew it was going to lose you the job, you would have done it anyways? Then you didn't care about that job, did you? Obviously, you have other priorities, in which case, that's fine. You don't need the job, give it to somebody else who doesn't really care about, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And they only care about making good games. Because that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Nobody cares if you're standing up against fascism. Nobody cares. I don't care. Nobody cares. Is the game good or not? Did the game play well or not? That's what people care about. You had your priorities somewhere else. And that showed people that, obviously, if you can't even prioritize the game, why should we assume the game's gonna be good? You don't even care about the game. You care more about this freaking, like, other situation.
Me doesn't scream they were apologetic or that they understood why people were truly upset with the comments they made and reposted. So now they're damage controlling because Alyssa Mercante just wants to sit here and say, ooh, gamers are all evil and bad. But Alyssa is ignoring this post because ultimately it doesn't fit the narrative, and they're both being called out for this, and rightfully.
You know what's interesting is that she's saying here that she would have apologized, she would have deleted it, she would have this, that, and the other. You can still do all that. You can still delete it, you can still apologize, you can still take it back. You're not doing that though, are you?
So, Alyssa Mercante and the rest of the gaming media had no problem getting people fired or canceled like the dev on Hogwarts Legacy, or chasing the FNAF Scott Cawthon out for wrong think.
Oh, shout out to Scott Cawthon. He actually showed up to our stream one time when we were playing Five Nights Ultimate Night. FNAF Ultimate Night Simulator. Oh, so good. Thank you so much for swinging by, Scott. Thanks. What a cool guy. Freaking love it. Even my super tiny channel. That's so amazing.
You've got David Jaffe, who
highlight of my
posted
career
a
so far.
defense, and there are tons of people, even like Colin Moriarty, saying whether firing her was the right decision or not. The rules of the game were arbitrarily determined years ago by the people now being subjected to blowback of their own. This was the inevitable outcome of the culture they worked very hard to create, and so it is what it is. Yep.
It's like Cersei Lannister when she militarized the faith, the faith of the Seven. She gave them weapons, made them the new military power, and then they start arresting all of the people that she cares about and her. And she's like, I can't believe they turned this against me. It's like, well, you're the one who gave them the weapons. You created this situation.
I 100% freaking agree. No, it was well deserved, and trying to change the narrative here is a disgrace. They created the very culture that led them to losing their jobs. Seems justified to me, and I had also made a post about this saying, of course, Alyssa conveniently left out one major detail: who perpetuated the cancel culture we know today. They're just mad the insane rules they put in place were used against them. So I'm curious to see how Alyssa will come out and write another piece about abuse she's facing now. Even
don't get mad when we start playing the game. And we can play it better than you.
though it's just genuine criticism. But yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that the people in the industry who love to play the victim are now coming out and saying other people are victims. And it's pretty pathetic that this entire, piece even went up, because it's just missing so many pieces of evidence and facts against Drew and their attitude after the fact that makes it really hard to sympathize with them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon. The rules of cancel culture.
Phenomenal and amazing video. Please, everyone, go drop Vara Dark a like. Go drop her a sub. Sorry, I apologize. Always makes some phenomenal content, bro. She pumps out videos like crazy. Always has some amazing stuff. I'll tell you what. These are short videos. I think we can react to one more. I really wanted to check out the Stellar Blade one. This feels like it's sort of the same topic, right? This one's shorter? I mean, why not?
Stellar Blade was a really great game, and Shift Up has the potential to make this a big series, and we know that there is a sequel in the works. They're working on a title after that releases, and now we're finding out it is the best-selling PlayStation exclusive launch IP in history for PC. I have a few different...
And it's still gonna keep going higher. I'm gonna buy a copy, for sure. Because we're playing it on the channel.
To show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man, these are all games that got wrecked by Stellar Blade.
Hold on, I didn't even think about that. God of War? Stellar Blade surpassed God of War on PC, on
and I think
PlayStation
this is so
for
funny
PC.
because the Access Media was previously coping and seething over how well this was doing on console, and now they have to deal with the embarrassment.
Never forget though, men hate female leads in anything. Never forget,
of admitting they were wrong about this game.
Even though this game is literally the female
PC
lead.
Release did
a strong
so
female woman,
good, which I think is great. They initially said that, oh, it's just gooner slop and gooner bait, and it doesn't have any substance, and it's really not that good of a game. But now they're proven wrong, because clearly not every person who bought this is a gooner, loser, chud, whatever.
And it's like, there's so many women that love this game, too. This game, Expedition 33, I'm hearing the same thing, that it's just a gooner game.
Whatever they want to call us these days, because every new update on Stellar Blade seems to suggest that the game has defied all expectations. Shift Up had said that it overperformed. They said that it is boosting their company to new heights, and gamers are also saying this could mean great things for video games because it proves again that sexy does sell and that this is the direction companies should go in. Now it's
And one thing I love about specifically Shift Up about this company, they do sexy on both sides. Of course, they sexy up the ladies a lot more in Nikkei because they're kind of the main. That's like the entire freaking point. Hello. But even the males are all pretty sexy individuals too. They give you some eye candy as well, ladies. Don't worry.
understood that Stellar Blade has beaten out Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, and others to be the best-selling PlayStation exclusive on PC. And you know what is so hilarious about this? We know that the Stellar Blade sequel is going to be multi-platform. At release, it's not going to be a PlayStation exclusive at launch, meaning, right, they are going to lose out on way more money. They were probably hoping that Stellar Blade 2 was going to be exclusive to the PS5 at launch, and that's not the case. Stellar Blade news has been coming thick and fast recently.
Great,
a Stellar Blade
actually.
sequel is confirmed to be in development, and the bombshell was dropped that Stellar Blade is going multi-platform. The original game was a success on launch.
Bro, if they launch across the board, they could be looking at breaking some records. I'm not gonna lie.
It continues to escalate.
They have so much good faith already from the community. This game, the first game, already blew up like crazy. They have a chance at being like a contender for first weekend sales.
Popularity and sales. Shift Up has revealed a new graphic showing this to be the case. Stellar Blade developer Shift Up showed off an impressive chart showing the biggest PlayStation exclusive games that have received a PC port. The graphic shows the top 6 games for sales on PC. The data shows Stellar Blade hit a peak of 192,000 concurrent
Almost
players on Steam
200.
at launch, with the next best being 77,000 players for Ghost of Tsushima. The headline sentence also says best-selling PlayStation exclusive
More than
launch
doubled
IP
it
in history. Based on the numbers, this isn't just the case, it's conclusive. We reported a couple of weeks ago that Shuhei Yoshida absolutely wanted Stellar Blade on PlayStation after playing it. PC players eventually got a chance to experience it, which was clearly snapped up. The game's appeal continues to grow as the Stellar Blade Silent Hill F crossover was teased, and owners have new content to play, including 3 new epilogues. But we know that when it had launched on
we have so many good games to play for the near future. We are so set.
Steam, it hit 1 million copies sold in just 3 days. And we also knew before that it had sold about 2 million copies. So at this point, it is, I would assume, well over 4 million copies sold. We don't have an exact number, but they did say that it had exceeded their expectations, which is great. I love to see good games succeed. This title had a pretty cool aesthetic, awesome outfits, compelling characters, good English voice acting. It just had a lot going for it, and
Dude, the anime, the fight scenes were super anime as well.
The action itself, the gameplay itself,
and all the robots have like a really like Gears of War style transform into but still really gearsy and mechanical type of
was
look.
really
nice.
freaking good, and I can't wait to see what they do with Stellar Blade 2. I think that there is so much to this world and so many cool characters that they could highlight, and I really, really hope that they don't just pump out game after game after game after game and then not increase the quality and expand upon certain themes and areas and pieces of lore. Like, I hope that they really are very tuned in to what their audience wants, that they are really understanding what it is that made this game so special in the first place, and they just continue to build off of that. And I think that they have a lot going for them. This was a post from July that said Stellar Blade crossed over 2 million sales on Steam. So yeah, this is the 4 million established number, and there were tons of people saying it deserves it, this is a major victory, but PC gamers don't buy games. Good for them. Gooners everywhere rejoice. I'm still saving up to buy and play it. Some medical bills kicked my ass, and it really is
Yeah, bro. Nobody wants to buy single players in games anymore. Didn't you guys know that single player games are dead? Nobody plays them anymore. Nobody wants single player games. It's weird. It's weird. Nobody wants to play single player games anymore.
A good game. I do highly recommend it,
$91
and
million.
I
Nobody
think that
wants to
it
play
is
single
a
player
big
games
win
anymore.
for not only Shift Up but also gamers, because for years now we've been told that we're gooners and losers and shoulds if we want games with pretty women. But look at the level of success of, I don't know, Dragon Age the Veilguard versus a Stellar Blade. Even look at games that haven't come out yet that are facing major backlash, like the Gothic 1 remake versus something like Stellar Blade. That game isn't going to sell, but this is selling, and I think that there is a big opportunity for indies and double A's to continue to grow, especially in this, we'll just call it a niche, where you have games like Nier and Stellar Blade and even Code Vein, where they have very specific aesthetics, but they also feature pretty women, they've got really good action, and they're games that do not have high budgets. We don't have confirmed numbers on the budget for Stellar Blade, but it was estimated to be around $45 million, which is still a pretty penny, but it's because 150 people worked on this game. We're talking about several years and sort of working from the ground up. It's not like it is a sequel where they're mostly using reused assets and things like that, so they did have to put quite a bit of money and time and work into it up front, but I really am so happy to see that this is happening in a time where we get so many Dragon Age the Veilguards and Avast.
It really is like searching for the diamond in the rough. The needle in
And
the
the Outer
haystack.
Worlds 2s, and we're just getting a lot of games with really poor aesthetics and poor character designs. There are still diamonds in the rough, like Eve in Stellar Blade, and Taki and Lily, and all these characters that look really pretty and beautiful
I freaking
and
love Lily
sometimes
so much.
sexy
She
depending
is
on
so
the outfits
adorable.
you put them in, and I just love to see really good games succeeding. So
Like a
I will be
sexy,
keeping
adorable
my
girl.
eye on Stellar Blade. I'm super excited for the sequel. I will definitely be playing that at release, but PlayStation must be furious that Stellar Blade is now the best-selling PlayStation exclusive launch IP in history for PC,
And it's
beating
going
out their games
multi-platform.
like Marvel's Spider-Man and God
And
of
they're losing the exclusivity.
War.
Damn.
But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon. Stellar Blade was a
Absolutely amazing video. Please, everyone, go drop Vara a like, go drop a sub, a comment so the algorithm knows that you like the content. Always making great stuff, phenomenal stuff. Ayoo, Monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Sadu!